So let's talk about something that honestly changes everything. Because it shows up literally everywhere. At work, in relationships, in small talk, interviews, sales calls, everywhere. And yet, no one really teaches us how to do it. We just pick things up as we go. You copy what people around you do, or you just try to wing it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it just doesn't. Because, and I think you'll recognize this situation. You know that moment when you walk away from a conversation and you think, why did I say it like that? Or even worse, I wish I sounded more confident there. Yeah, I think we've all been there. And that's what this video is about. Small habits that make you sound calm, confident, and clear. Real grounded communication. And that actually feels like you. And the best part is it is not one massive skill you have to master all at once. Communication isn't something you magically have or don't. It's built from small habits you can start using today. So in this video, I'll walk you through 5 habits that change how people listen to you. Habits that help you connect faster, speak clearer, and actually enjoy conversations again. But before we start, every opportunity you will ever get, a job, a relationship, friendships, a deal, involves other people. And those other people can only respond to what they see and hear when you speak. If your words are rushed, unclear, or scattered, your ideas do not land. People stop listening because they cannot follow you. They can't understand what you're really trying to say. But when you speak calmly, clearly, and confidently, you stand out immediately. People trust you faster, they remember what you want to say, and they want to keep talking to you. Now, communication is the bridge between what is in your actual head and what others understand. And your job as a communicator is to protect the meaning of your message, so it is received the way you intend it to be. Now, these 5 habits are how you build that bridge much stronger. Habit number 1 is slowing down. When you're nervous, your brain just speeds up, your breathing gets shallow, and your mouth tries to keep up. So your words start racing out before your thoughts are even fully formed. And halfway through a sentence, you're thinking, what am I even trying to say right now? Talking fast doesn't make you sound confident. It makes you look rushed. And the worst part is it makes you feel more anxious because now you're trying to keep up with yourself. Slowing down changes that. When you control your pace, your thoughts have time to form. You give the listener time to process and you instantly sound calmer and more in control, even if you don't feel that way yet. So what I usually try to do is I aim to speak at about 10 to 15% slower than I normally would. It feels weird at first, but to everyone else it sounds natural, confident, grounded, in control. And that builds authority. One of the clearest signs of authority is speaking slowly and calmly. And another easy way to slow down consistently is to use pauses on purpose, which brings us on to habit number 2. Habit number 2 is use silence as the powerful tool it is. Most people hate silence. They'll do anything to fill it with nervous laughter, anything to avoid the quiet. But silence used intentionally adds weight to your words. It gives your message room to land and makes people want to lean in. A good pause does a lot. I can keep rambling. It lets you breathe and collect your thoughts. It helps the listener process what you said. It makes your delivery sound intentional. It emphasizes your key points. But Hugo, how do I know when to pause? I'll make this as simple as I possibly can. Pause at natural commas and punctuations. That is where your message hits hardest. So really what you can do is practice this by either writing out your full script for a speech or answers to a question you're preparing for, and look at where the commas and punctuations naturally fit in. That is where you should be pausing. A shorter pause for a comma, a longer pause for a punctuation. And yes, it'll feel uncomfortable at first. That is fine. That discomfort is what building confidence feels like. Everything new feels awkward until it just doesn't. Pausing also reinforces a slower pace. When you honor punctuation out loud, your rhythm becomes clear and feel more controlled. Habit number 3 is one idea at a time. This is one of the biggest reasons people ramble. Trying to say everything at once. You start answering that question, and suddenly you're 3 tangents deep on that side, juggling 5 ideas at once with a bunch of side notes. And the end, you can't even remember what the question was. Now, I'm not going to ramble on for too long about this one because the fix is very simple. Before you speak, take 2 to 3 seconds and ask, what is the main point that I want to make right now? Start with that. If there's more to it, add it later. If people want details, they will ask. But it is important to note that there is a difference between storytelling and explaining an idea. With a story, sometimes you hold the punchline to build suspense, to make people lean in. But when you're sharing an opinion or explaining something, clarity comes first. So say the point up front. Example, instead of, so last quarter when finance moved our tools and then we had that meeting with ops and my boss said this and I don't really know where I'm going right now with this and now I've lost myself. Just say we should go with option B. It's faster, it's easier to support. Here's one risk to manage. Now people know exactly what this is about and why it matters, what they need to listen to. And bonus, focusing on one idea stops the mid-sentence overthinking. You're not juggling 5 thoughts. You already know your point, so you sound more confident. Clarity makes confidence easier. It is the foundation. When you know your main point, delivery gets much easier because you don't have to think about what you should be saying. Habit number 4, now we're moving into more of the social part in communication. Now the habits we've just gone over are of course great anywhere, but they especially help you in more formal settings. So habit number 4 is active listening. Listen better gets said a lot, but here's what that actually means. Now most people listen just enough to respond. You can literally see it in their body language. Leaning forward, waiting to jump in, nudging forward. Active listening is different. Be fully present. Look at the person, nod when it makes sense. Notice the exact words they use and respond to that. Small moments like, interesting. Earlier you said you've been learning more about design. Is that why you decided to switch career? That makes people feel heard. And trust builds fast. Connection happens. And ironically, when you listen better, you speak better. Because you're responding to the moment and not rehearsing in your head what you should be saying. Which brings us on to the next habit, which might seem like it contradicts what I just said, but these are great for 2 different reasons. Active listening will help you in the exact situation you're in right now, whilst this next one will help you if the conversation is about to die out. So habit number 5 is be prepared with questions and stories. You know that mid-conversation just blank, brain stalls, what do I say now? It happens to everyone. The easiest fix is to prepare before it happens. Think of it like a toolbox. When things go quiet, you have tools all ready to go. When it comes to questions, make them open-ended so they actually start a conversation, something to actually reflect on. What's something you've been learning lately? What do you like doing outside of work? What's a goal or project you're working towards right now? Now, people love talking about themselves, and this gives them a door to walk through and do exactly that. And when it comes to stories, build a story bank. Every single person I help think they don't have any stories worth telling. They think they're not interesting enough. But after a very quick walkthrough, we always come to the same conclusion that they do. Stories don't have to be this dramatic, they just have to be real. Moments where you learn something funny that happened at work, a small decision that changed something for you. Now those stories create connection because they're authentic, they're real to you, and combine them with good questions and conversations will never die out. Because when someone opens up, they give you threads you can pull on and keep talking about. When you share a story, they will either share their own or they will pull on the threads that you revealed. So let's recap what we just went over. All of these habits are foundational for confident communication and are applicable to almost any situation. First one was slow down, control your pace before your nerves do. That is how you show confidence. Second one was use pauses. Silence adds weight, helps people process and emphasizes your point. Third one was one idea at a time. Clarity wins and your job as a communicator is to protect the meaning of your message. Fourth one was active listening. And this is where we walk into more informal settings, although active listening is important everywhere. Respond to what is actually being said and not what you expect to be said. Fifth one was be prepared. Have questions and stories ready so the conversation keeps moving. Now, none of these require any talent. They just take practice. Do them consistently and they become automatic. They become your default setting. You stop overthinking. You stop trying to perform. You just communicate. And that is when everything changes. People feel you, they understand you, and they want to connect with you, keep talking to you. These habits will not change you overnight, but they will change how people respond to you. And that is the most important part. If this helped, hit subscribe. I post new videos like this every single week on mastering communication. And if you want to go a bit deeper and build real confidence with me directly, you can now join my free community. The link is down below. See you in the next video. Bye bye.